here.
Yeah.
Shit switches up.
I thought you were gonna bring kids, bro.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Bring the kids, we wouldn't get nothing done. That's funny. That's why I'm running late, actually, because I have to find a last minute babysitter for one of my daughters. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How's father duty?
Bro, it's an adjustment. I must say. Yeah. I went from like single to like married to like boom, 4 kids in a matter of 4 or 5 years. 4 years actually. So. Yeah, it's pretty. I know.
Any of them twins?
No. So
what?
The first, I was my stepdaughter, and then after that, the second we had, which was what is that? 2017, and then after that 18, and then 19.
Yeah.
But wait, it takes 9 months to cook.
Exactly.
So you got in there as soon as she popped out the the one. Actually, you're very fertile when right after.
So I heard. Yeah. So we learned that the hard way.
Yeah, you go.
Honestly, that sounds like my parents. They got 3 in a row just like that too.
Wow.
All right, welcome back to the To Be Honest podcast. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Shaki.
Introduce yourself.
And I'm here. I'm Tristan.
Tristan's our special guest. He's going to be talking to us about building wealth with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, 100%. Look forward to it.
But before we get into that, we want to learn about you.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. Christian first, husband as well. Not to mention that, I've been dabbling. I'm a trader, broker, educator in Bitcoin. So, that's what I do full time right now. Went into entrepreneurship at 21 years old. It's crazy because what happened was I was working at this company called Van Hook Copy Services, and I remember asking my friend, I asked him, like, where do you see yourself in the next, 5-10 years? General question. And what happened was, he's like, I see myself here he said, I see myself here for the rest of my life.
He's a lifer.
And I'm like, bro, at that time we were making like $17.46 an hour. I'm never gonna forget $17.46. And I said to myself, there is no way, because at the time I had a kid on the way, just got married, and I said to myself, this is not gonna be my reality for the rest of my life. So with that being said now, I went ahead, dabbled in something called binary options, similar to Forex. Turned $1,000 into about $8,000 in a matter of 2 weeks. And as quick as I made that money, was as quick as I lost it. And because of that, because I lost so much money in a short amount of time, I try to they call it revenge trading. So what happens is you lose money, then you want to make it back. And then before I knew it, I was like $24,000 in debt because of that. Yeah, so I was borrowing money to go in.
At 21?
At 21.
Oh
at
my
21.
God.
And it wasn't even because of school debt or anything like that. It was just me being irresponsible and dumb. And again, using credit cards to fund my trading account. And what happened was I remember I had about $2,500 left in my TFSA. And this was all or nothing, right?
You went into your TFSA.
TFSA, yeah, $2,500. Because here's the thing, I was getting a 0.075% interest rate. So that's not even 1%, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's 75% of a percent, So I said to myself, I'm like, nah, that's only 2 cents per month, right? So what happened was I took my 2,500, threw it into Bitcoin because I heard of it through the internet. Internet's a powerful place. Mm-hmm. And what happened was $2,500 went down. I'm like, holy smokes. After that, I diversified my portfolio. I did more research, started investigating some more. And what happened was I turned 2,500 into 100K. So in a matter of 8 to 10 months. So then bought a house, and now 2019, here I am teaching people how to do the same thing because I'm a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? I did that with 2 kids, a wife, life, all of that. So essentially all odds were against me, but I was still able to make it happen. So I'm looking at my circumstance situation. I'm saying to myself, if I'm able to do this, I can teach people how to do that. So I launched on my company called Crypto Lab, you can see right here, in March of this year. And we've just been rocking and rolling since.
That's crazy. How'd you meet your wife?
I met at a church.
Yeah?
So we met at church 2014. We went to a conference. Hit it off that way. We started talking, back and forth. And come 2015, we got married. We already knew what it is that we wanted to do. We both understood that we're on the same page. We want to spend the rest of our life with one another. And that was all she wrote.
Is there a story behind that?
No, not really. The story was what happened was I started going to this church in Mississauga, and what happened was she ended up there a year later. At that time, it was I didn't really have any interest or liking in her, so I kind of just wrote her off, so to speak. And then I guess 2-3 years later, that's when I really began to take an interest in her. You know, the type of individual she was, you know, obviously attractive too.
What made you notice her?
Man, you know, she's very outgoing, very social, right? I have a natural, like, I have no issue talking to people and being social, but I have a natural tendency to be more reserved. I guess you could say borderline shy or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. Naturally, I know. Naturally, I'm a shy guy. But again, you kind of break out the habit of being shy because you understand, like, yo, what am I scared of? You understand?
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was her looks, like, she was just outgoing. I'm like, holy smokes, I need to get to know her, you know? So yeah, that was 2014. We went to a conference together, and we were just talking back and forth. You know, I was this is here's what it is. This is what really, like, that was the nail on the hammer, so to speak. What happened was we were able to confide in one another. She was able to tell me, like, deep things about herself, and after I was able to tell her deep things about myself. And then after I realized, I'm like, yo, this is an individual I could trust. Big on trust, big on loyalty. And that loyalty aspect is what really drew me and compelled me to, like, go after her. So yeah, that's what it was about.
So you guys got married how quickly?
Year's time.
Wow.
We started dating 14. I met her in 2011. So we didn't start dating in 2014. After that 15, we got married November 27th. Actually, just down the street from here too.
I understand that Bitcoin has to do with the one world currency, which also is going to build into created the one world government, which is also basically like prophesied in the Bible.
Right. I can't speak too much of that because I don't know. Right. I'm not an oracle. I'm not a prophet or anything like that.
No, of course not. Of course not.
But I do know one thing about Bitcoin, and it's this, and there's a lot of spiritual ties with it.
Yeah.
It's this. Every 9 to 10 years, we go through a recession. Stock market crashes. The last one that we had was in 2008.
Yes, we do.
Now, it's crazy. Now, if you go back, going all the way back to the Great Depression, right, you would notice that, again, like what I said, you'll see that pattern, right? You're always able to predict when next crash is next, right?
Yeah.
So, 2008 happened, 2009, Bitcoin was birthed. You understand? Yeah. Right now, crypto, the stock market, S&P 500, the Dow, all of those markets are in a pattern that pretty much goes upwards, right? We know what goes up has to come down eventually. You understand? So what then happens is this. The S&P 500 and the Dow futures markets, they all fall. They all crash.
Okay.
Again, we're in year 11 right now. So we're expecting a recession. Right now we're overextended, right? Because like I said to you earlier, every 10 years it happens. We're in year 11 right now. So then what happens is this. All those stock market crashes, investors then say, oh my gosh, I'm losing tons of money. You know what I'm saying? If you run a family owned hedge fund or whatever the case may be, you manage billions and millions of dollars, you realize you're losing money by millions and billions, you'll realize, like, yo, I need to find like a protection, like a safe haven, so to speak. Then what you do with your money is gold, silver, and Bitcoin. You look at those undervalued markets, and then all the money that's going to come out of that market then flows into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, all that stuff, causing Bitcoin to rise up.
Because I've been hearing a lot of prediction of when they believe it'll be worth millions.
For sure.
You know, and they were saying, like, pretty much soon, like in the next 4, 5, 6 years now.
Sure. Now, I don't know when Bitcoin's gonna be worth $1 million, but I can tell you one thing: supply and demand 101. It says this: there's only 21 million Bitcoin out there, right?
Yeah.
3 to 4 million of which have been lost. That means there's about.
How were they lost?
So in the early days, people, what happened was they put their Bitcoin on exchanges and computers, and then after they thought to themselves, man, there's no future in Bitcoin, you know. And after they threw it out, some of their computers are in landfills. Literally, people will go dig up landfills, look for their computer, can't find it, obviously, because it's been disintegrated now. But so 3 to 4 million of which have been lost. Meaning there's only 16 to 17 million amongst 7 billion people on this planet. Only 2% of which know about Bitcoin. That's why the value of Bitcoin is so low. That's why I say it's undervalued right now. What happens when, let's just say, half the Earth's population, 3.5 billion people, then own Bitcoin? Price goes up because there's only 16 million that you could share amongst all those people. Now, here is a huge catalyst that's going to change the whole dynamic. This is what's going to propel Bitcoin into $1 million, as you said.
Yeah.
Institutions. big banks.
Yeah.
TD Ameritrade, Barclays, Santander, names you never heard of. Wells Fargo, those big names on Wall Street, when they move into a market, they're very greedy, and what they do is they try to gobble up everything that's in the market. And again, that creates scarcity, causing the price to launch.
Well, what about Warren Buffett? He said that it's going to zero.
And I'm so glad you asked that or said that. So here's the thing. Since its inception, 2009, Bitcoin has been the best performing asset, up over 7,000%. Now I know this is a lot of numbers to follow, but it'll blow your mind if you really follow me. It's up over 7,000%. You understand? Every bubble that we had, like every bubble that came into existence, whether it be the tulip bubble or the tech bubble, they all went to zero once upon a time in a matter of 3 to 5 years. Bitcoin has been in existence for 10 years and has never gone to zero.
No?
Never, no, not once. It has 80% drawdowns, meaning that it goes up and it comes way back down and goes up again and comes way back down, but it's never gone to zero, right? And Warren Buffett's a very smart man too, because he understands something. If I say this, chances are 95% of people will follow up at what it is I say. He made his living off of stocks. He's much older, very wise investor, but he uses a strategy called undervalue or value investing, meaning that he finds stocks at very low prices and he'll sell them at a profit later on. Right? So Warren Buffett understands something and his influence and his power, and Kevin O'Leary does the same thing. They'll go on huge media platforms like CNBC, and they'll often say, oh, Bitcoin's going to zero. It's not going to work.
It instills fear in people.
Exactly.
And then they sell.
Exactly.
And then they buy.
And then they buy.
But that shows me their fear, Warren Buffett's fear of it, because even Bill Gates have said some good things about it. He claims that the people who are going to be running Bitcoin or are going to have Bitcoin it's going to make his money look like pennies.
For
basically,
100%.
Because he knows.
Yeah, I believe Bitcoin will make the world's first trillionaire.
Yeah,
I firmly believe that.
And they believe that they said how the first trillionaire could be by the time it's like 2030 something. They said
that's pretty soon.
Yeah,
that's in the next like 10 to 15 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is why like Bitcoin, especially as millennials, like again, I know from my grandparents when they came to this country, they came in the 70s. They had real estate, right, where houses were extremely undervalued.
But their wages were also a lot lower.
Of course. But if you came from for example, my grandparents, when they came to this country, both of them working class individuals. My grandfather was an electrician, my grandmother was a nurse, right? So they had money coming in.
Good jobs.
Exactly. So what happened was they bought their house for less than $100,000. You understand? Then fast forward, you have my mom's generation, baby boomers, right? They a lot of them when that generation before them died out, they received their inheritance, right? And then after that, then they had the internet and stock boom. You get what I'm saying? So all those stocks, those undervalued stocks and all that stuff, companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple were all, undervalued, and they were a lot of them weren't buying that, but should have been buying that. Fast forward now, 2019, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. This is our time for millennials.
So how long are you gonna stay in this business?
Probably for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Remember, if this becomes the currency for everywhere, this is a life thing. You have to have Bitcoin no matter where you go. That's going to be your money to buy anything you need. I'm kind of in a crypto, like Bitcoin investment, but I honestly don't understand if I want to I don't know if I want to actually be part of what that is. Like I'm part of something, but like I don't know what to do with it.
Okay, is it like a MLM type thing? Like you recruit people, you bring them in? Got you. Okay, say less. I already know what it is that you're talking about. All right, so I know a ton of people who's actually in that right now.
I can give you the name.
Who's there?
Wealth Boss.
Wealth Boss. Okay, never heard of that.
It's something. It's its own kind of. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah, bro. You just gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. I mean, if you really want to learn about cryptocurrency, YouTube's your best friend. You don't need to go to.
You know what? It's because my bro's really into it, and I don't know if, it's just we keep hearing all these different things about it. We keep hearing all the negatives and all the positives, and it's just like my parents, they want to get into it, then they're getting out of it. Because my dad said when the market dropped, he wanted to invest in Bitcoin and he didn't do it. And he was
dad?
Yeah, my dad said he didn't do it. And he decided to put it into some next technology, some next shit. And obviously it panned out the way it should have been. But he said that was his grades. I should have don't put that money in. And he said it was like nothing back then. He said, I think he said like 800 or less than that, 800 a pop, I believe it was.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
That's
I mean,
usually how it works, right?
Yeah.
People hear about something when it first
They don't trust it.
deny it.
skepticism. That is like a huge enemy, but it could also be your best friend, right?
Yes.
Because being skeptical sometimes could save you, and not that being skeptical could actually hinder you. You know what I'm saying? I know for your pops, like, you know, he didn't. The thing is, what it really comes down to is not knowing enough. No
That's
education. You know what I'm saying? And again, when I got into cryptocurrency, I researched. I did the hard work. You understand? So I do the hard work, and then after that, I teach people how to do it because I already did the hard work. I already did the heavy lifting. You get what I'm saying? But in your dad's instance, it's like, man, you know, this is lack of education. So I want to talk about like real world use case, right? And that's like one of the biggest things, right? Because if you have $1 in your pocket or a $5 bill in your pocket, right? The only reason why it's $5 because you believe it's $5. There's a belief system in it. You go to the store, you buy pop, chips, whatever you want with that $5. You understand? You could do the same thing with Bitcoin. I literally took an helicopter ride above the city, paid with Bitcoin. I bought food with Bitcoin. You understand? There's Bitcoin ATMs, a lot of them downtown, like in the downtown core area.
In Yorkville, yeah.
Exactly. Bitcoin ATMs. You understand?
But how does it? So what? You like have like an app on your phone and it reads.
Correct. Exactly.
I don't know anything about it.
100% no. So how it works is this: like, if you're gonna buy a Bitcoin from an ATM, I wouldn't recommend that because the fees are super high. But you would have an app on your phone, right? And then it would ask you how much Bitcoin you want to buy. You type in the amount. It will show you like the Bitcoin price, like 0.05, whatever. And then after that, it would show you the Canadian price. And then after you deposit that money into the machine, and then after it will ask you for your QR scanner code.
Yeah.
QR scanner code, and then it scans that, and then you have the Bitcoin in your phone within a matter of seconds, as opposed to minutes, days.
Yeah.
You know, weeks, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, how do you start?
Call me. I'm joking.
He has a business for a reason.
Yeah, no. But in all seriousness, no. I would say in order to get started with Bitcoin, download the app Coinbase. That's an app that it's one of the largest exchanges out there. You could go ahead, set up your banking information with that, so you can make transactions from your, whether it be TD account or whatever your bank account, over to Coinbase, and with that you'll get Bitcoin that way.
So why would you choose Bitcoin over any other cryptocurrency?
Well, they have a saying,
or like any cryptocurrency over another.
Yeah. So they have a saying that Bitcoin is king. Now, here's the thing: it's not just Bitcoin. There's a slew of currencies out there. There's over 2,500. Now it's a matter of, okay, which ones are gonna be the winners, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So what it really comes down to is this. This is what I do now. I show people the winners, right? Because 16 hours of my day is goes to pure research, calls, you know, getting the inside scoop on these projects and all that stuff. Because oftentimes you'll see Bitcoin do a huge run, and then 6 months later, the altcoin market, that's what they call all those other coins, alternative coins. They call the altcoins. They'll always outperform Bitcoin. You understand? Yeah. So I know outperform them by like thousands of %. Like literally, if you would have bought, give you a perfect example. If you would have bought Ripple in 2015, right? It was trading at 0.5 tenths of a penny, so half a penny. You understand? You put $1,000 into that. That would have netted you 200,000 coins. You understand? You would have had 200,000 Ripple coins. Ripple at its all-time high, if I'm not mistaken, it went to about $1.60. $1.60 times 200,000, that works up to 320,000. If my math's correct. You just made over $300,000 on a $1,000 investment. That's the power of cryptocurrency. You understand? Those numbers are very real and they happen. You understand? I would have done those numbers had I known what I know now. You get what I'm saying? But that was just me like dabbling, taking a risk, this, you know, playing it safe, conservatively. But I know people literally who've turned less like $5,000 into just shy of $3 million. That opportunity's here.
I know we have like 2 minutes left, but I want to ask you real quick about when it comes to finance in the Black community, right? Are you doing education specifically to that group, or are you doing to any community, regardless of where you're from? And do you think you know the Black community needs to be educated on that, because they're usually among the last group of people
to catch on,
to be.
So I'll answer that question in reverse. So first things first, I do educate the Black community, but it's not just the Black community. I'm no respecter of persons. You understand? And I can educate all people. You know, I believe that all people should be financially well off, so to speak. You understand?
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. All people, not just black people. Now, more specifically from the black community, you know what happens a lot of the time. You know, crabs in the bucket. They always say that. But it's so funny. I look at I love to observe people, right? And I love to observe ethnic groups. You have everywhere you go in the world, you can find a Chinatown. You understand? Mm-hmm. Anywhere in the world you go, you can find a Chinatown.
Yeah.
If
in China? Do they have Chinatowns in China? I don't know.
If you travel to major cities around the world, you'll find a little Italy, a little Portugal, or a little whatever the case may be. You'll find a little, but you'll never ever find a little Jamaica or a little Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a little Jamaica in Toronto?
Okay.
There is, but it's not.
It's not known as Jamaica. It's what the people call it.
Yeah.
But if you ask anyone, like, you know, the government or anything, they won't refer to that as Little Jamaica. Let's refer to that as Eglinton.
Yeah.
That's it. That's Eglinton West, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think we had
dope patties, sick patties. Randy's patty?
Randy.
Yeah. Sick
I still have to
patties.
try this place.
You know what I'm saying? Oh,
I haven't
bro.
tried it. Everybody keeps telling
It'll change your life, man.
Yeah,
It'll change
it's
your life.
delicious.
Yeah, we try
next week.
Even I've had
Yeah,
it.
you need a Randy's patty.
Next weekend I'll go. Next week.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying. You know, with the black community now, again, always the last to catch on to these things. And I realize that, you know, the Chinese spend $1 within the Chinese. The Jews spend $1 within the Jews. They're all. If you look at the Jewish community, the baker's Jew, the chef's Jew, the laundromat owned by a Jew. Yeah. Everything that stays within the Jewish community.
They support their
Nothing
own.
wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You understand? Black people aren't doing that. Black people are often going abroad to. Oh, I have to. And it's so funny. You always hear black people say this. Oh, I can't do business with another black guy. More recently, I find myself giving to the homeless, and when I give to the homeless, it's like it's an Arab guy or Syrian guy. You know, I don't really look at color, so to speak. I see past the color and I just look at him, human being. You get me? So again, like, it's not a matter of wrong or right. It's just that's your personal preference more.
So you don't try to keep your money within the black community. You just, to you, that's not how you process.
Nah, I don't really look at it that way. No.
I see the way you actually look at it.
Because again, I mean.
But isn't that what you were just saying the problem is?
Yeah.
Because you diversify,
of course.
But then we're talking about all the other groups that sort of support their own community, right?
But he's trying to show the separation.
Exactly. So here's my thing. I'm not one of those guys who's like, yo, I'm pro-black because I'm a black guy. You know, I don't really follow after that agenda because I feel like that agenda has too much, what's the word I'm looking for? Too much... whatever the word is, too much of a stage, you understand? Because there's greater problems
say
in
ignorance.
That. You pardon me?
You could say ignorance because
I wouldn't say it's necessarily ignorance. I would just say that issue is really brought to light in the sense where it's like, yeah, we know what's going on in the States and America and all that stuff, but again, there's tons of things that's transpiring right now, and we're not talking about it enough, right?
Yeah.
Sex trafficking is one of them.
Yeah.
You understand? Abortion is a huge one.
Yeah.
You understand? But the agenda is on the black community, and I get it. I'm a black guy. Like, you know, I support that. But in the same breath, it's not like it's at the forefront of my mind. Like, I need to be out there protesting and all that stuff. No. I'm all people. I'm not one specific individual. I love people. You understand? And loving people comes with, you know, all skin types, all ethnicities, all cultures. You understand? So it's not a black thing, it's a people thing.
Are you raising your children with the knowledge of cryptocurrency?
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I got my daughter.
You get like a little crypto piggy bank?
No, that's actually a good idea. No, I got my daughter like looking at charts and graphs and all that stuff, and like, oh yeah, that's how Bitcoin works. It's up today, it's down
You
today.
should create like an app that's like for children where you can deposit small amounts of crypto in their virtual piggy bank, and then they have like a trust when they're older.
Yeah, it's funny. I know a guy that's doing that right now, but he's not doing it for kids. He's not doing it for kids. He's doing it for all people. But that's actually a really good idea.
How many years till you hit the millionaire status?
I'm 24.
At the rate that you're
Yeah,
going.
the rate I'm going, I think I'll be a millionaire in the next 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's very, very attainable at this rate.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know.
So from start till like, how many years have you been doing it?
I've been doing what I'm doing right now with the crypto lab thing for about since March, right? I started educating in March. I started trading and messing around investing in Bitcoin in 2016.
So from 2016 till 2021, 5 years, to be a millionaire?
That's
oh yeah,
pretty
people
quick.
trust me. Natalie,
People
there's people
quicker.
there's people that do it in months.
Yeah, there is people that do it in like 8 months, 7 months.
Trust me, 5 years is like a long time. I kid you not.
Wow.
Yeah, but in traditional finance, like in the stock market, that's very short term, right? And this is what I'm saying about this space. This is what's changing the game. You understand?
Be careful too, eh? Don't get too excited.
No. You don't get greedy. You stay level headed. I mean, there's a way to go about it. When you see yourself making that type of money, you always have to remind yourself, let me take some cream off the top. Let me take some profit now. Because you always have to understand, like, listen, I could lose this tomorrow because Bitcoin could potentially crash, not go to zero. I don't believe it go to zero, but it can make a 40% drawdown or 80% drawdown. Then let's just say you have $100,000. Bitcoin crashes 80%. Now you're only left with $20,000. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that doesn't happen overnight. You obviously see that coming. But what I'm getting at is take profit as it goes. You get what I'm saying? So you could definitely profit.
Finish the sentence. If Bitcoin goes to zero, I would.
If Bitcoin goes to zero, I would grind. That's it. Bottom line, I would grind. Think about it. Like, I have other avenues. I'll go right into real estate. You know, that's my second, my thing. Like, I really like real estate. You know, I enjoy work. I enjoy, you know, watching people build houses and all that stuff. So the second option would be real estate, right? But what I did with cryptocurrency is I'll just move that same passion and drive over to real estate and do the same thing. Doesn't matter. Wherever you put me.
From building wealth to building homes.
Yeah. Bottom line.
Still building wealth.
Who mentors you though? Because I mean, like a lot of people in your space.
Yeah.
Mentor. So like, who's your mentor?
So you know, one of my mentors, Michelle Sana. He's one of those guys. He just taught me how to trade.
He's doing.
No, he's not doing cryptocurrency. Okay. He taught me the trading aspect, whereas buy, sell, get in and get out. I learned a lot from him. Super dope guy, nice guy, cool guy. Michelle's a good mentor. In terms of like cryptocurrency, self-taught. Majority self-taught, network, knowing people and all that stuff. You begin to meet people in the space, and then after you learn from their mistakes and all that stuff. Not primarily YouTube. There's good content on YouTube, but again, just getting out there, going to meetups and all that stuff. They have like meetups, all that stuff downtown. You have conferences that you could go to. I just came from the Blockchain Futures Conference, so that's another conference that you could go to. There's a ton of ways to like immerse yourself in the space.
Where do people find you?
Yeah, visit me. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter as well.
They want your services.
Yeah, so Instagram primarily, Twitter. Follow me at .x.blessed, and then at that Twitter, it's beyondblessed94.